Discipline is the backbone of greatness. It's what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Motivation might get started, but discipline is what keeps you going when motivation disappears. There are days when you'll wake up ready to conquer the world, but there will also be days when you don't even want to get out of bed. Discipline is what gets you moving on those days. It's not about feeling like it. It's about doing it regardless of how you feel. The truth is, motivation is an emotion, and emotions come and go. But discipline is a decision. It's a choice you make every day to stay focused on your goals no matter what's happening around you. Most people wait for motivation to hit them before taking action. They wait for that spark, that surge of energy, that moment of inspiration to begin. But the most successful people in the world know that waiting for motivation is a trap. If you only act when you feel motivated, you'll never get anywhere. Winners understand that action creates motivation, not the other way around. The moment you start moving, the moment you take that first step, you begin to build momentum. Discipline turns small actions into massive results over time. It doesn't happen overnight, but it happens because you refuse to stop showing up. Discipline means doing the things you say you do long after the feeling that made you say it has left. It's waking up early to chase your dreams when you'd rather sleep in. It's choosing to work on your goals instead of scrolling endlessly through your phone. It's studying when your friends are out having fun, training when your body is sore, and pushing forward when everything in you says give up. Discipline is not about punishment, it's about commitment. It's about staying true to the promises you made to yourself even when no one is watching. Because that's when it really counts. It's easy to perform when others are looking, but real discipline happens in silence. Silence. It's built in the unseen hours, in the quiet moments when it's just you, your dreams, and your choices. Every person who has ever achieved something great understands this. Athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, and leaders. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on routine. They rely on structure. They rely on discipline. When a champion trains, they don't wake up every day excited to hit the gym. But they do it anyway because they've trained their mind to follow through, not to follow feelings. Feelings are fleeting. Habits are powerful. When you develop the habit of discipline, you no longer need to negotiate with yourself every morning. You just do what needs to be done. Think about it like this. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The first few times you push yourself to stay consistent, it feels hard. But over time, your willpower grows. You become tougher, more focused, more resilient. Eventually, the things that once felt impossible start to feel natural. You build a rhythm, a mindset that doesn't depend on motivation anymore. That's when you become unstoppable. That's when you no longer need to wait for the perfect move. You just execute. Discipline also gives you freedom. It might sound like the opposite, but it's true. When you are disciplined, you control your actions instead of letting your emotions control you. You gain freedom from procrastination, from regret, from guilt. You move through life with purpose and clarity because you're no longer swayed by every distraction or temptation that comes your way. You don't waste time debating whether to act. You already know what needs to be done. That's power. That's control. That's freedom. The disciplined person understands that progress is built through repetition. Success isn't a one-time event. It's the result of consistent effort applied over and over again. Every workout, every late-night study session, every sacrifice adds up. Discipline doesn't just shape your habits, it shapes your identity. You start to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who does the work no matter what. And once you build that identity, it changes everything. You stop breaking promises to yourself because you know who you are. You're someone who gets it done. There will always be temptations trying to pull you away from your goals. There will always be easier options, more comfortable paths, and moments when quitting seems reasonable. But discipline keeps you grounded. It reminds you why you started in the first place. It forces you to remember that short-term pleasure can't replace long-term fulfillment. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you strengthen your future. You move one step closer to becoming the person you're meant to be. In the end, discipline is not about perfection. It's about persistence. You'll stumble, you'll fall, but you'll keep moving forward because that's what disciplined people do. They don't quit when things get hard. They push hard. No one is coming to save you. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. We grow up hoping someone will notice our potential, someone will guide us, someone will lift us up when we fall, but life doesn't work like that. You can't wait for someone to hand you an opportunity. You can't expect anyone to believe in your dream more than you do. If you want something, you've got to go and get it yourself. You are responsible for your own success, your own happiness, your own life. The moment you realize that, everything changes. You stop waiting and start acting. You stop hoping and start building. You stop blaming and start owning every part of your journey. It's easy to look around and think other people have it easier. You might see people born into money, privilege, or connection feel like they've got an advantage. But let me tell you something. Plenty of people with every advantage still fail, and plenty of people with nothing still rise to the top. The difference isn't what they were given. It's what they did with what they had. When you understand that no one's coming to rescue you, you stop looking for excuses and start finding ways. You stop focusing on what you don't have and start using what you do have. You take full responsibility for your growth, your grind, and your greatness. Most people never take control of their lives because they're waiting for external validation. They want someone to tell them it's time, someone to say they're good enough, someone to open a door for them. But here's the truth. You don't need permission to go after your dream. You don't need anyone's approval to start. The only person you need is you. Once you take ownership, once you decide that no one is going to do it for you, your entire mindset shifts. You begin to see challenges differently. You stop complaining about how hard it is because you understand that struggle's part of the process. You stop waiting for perfect conditions because you know progress is your responsibility. Taking ownership of your life means no more excuses. It means if you fail, you accept it, learn from it, and keep moving. It means you stop blaming your parents, your teachers, your boss, or your past. You start asking yourself, what can I do differently? How can I grow from this? That's power. That's what separates leaders from followers. Leaders don't wait to be told what to do. They take initiative. They make decisions. They move forward even when they don't have all the answers, because they know that movement brings clarity, not sitting still. You got to stop expecting someone else to invest more effort into your dream than you do. Nobody's going to care about your goals like you will. Your friends, your family, even your mentor, they might support you, but they can't walk the path for you. They can't do your push-ups. They can't stay up late studying for you. They can't face your fears for you. This is your race, your responsibility, your legacy. And the sooner you embrace that, the faster you grow. When you start taking responsibility, something powerful happens. You start trusting yourself. You realize that you are capable of figuring things out, of finding solutions, of creating opportunities. You stop depending on luck and start depending on discipline. You stop expecting others to open doors and start building your own. That's when you become unstoppable, because your progress no longer depends on anyone else's approval or support. You become self-driven, self-motivated, and self-accountable. You start to realize that everything you need to succeed is already within you. It just needs to be activated through action. Owning your journey doesn't mean you have to do everything alone, but it does mean you take full responsibility for what happens. You can seek guidance. You can ask for help. You can learn from others. But at the end of the day, the work is still yours. If you want to change your life, you can't outsource it. You got to show up every day no matter how you feel. Put in the work. You can't wait for someone to inspire you. You've got to inspire yourself. You can't wait for the right time. You've got to create time. You've got to create the right time. Because waiting keeps you stuck, but action moves you forward. There's something liberating about accepting that no one's coming to save you. It frees you from expectation. You stop waiting for things to be easy. You stop waiting for help. You realize that the responsibility for your future rests in your own hands. That truth might feel heavy, but it's also empowering. Because if no one else controls your destiny, that means no one else can stop you either. You have the power to change your life. You have the power to break your habits, to learn new skills, to start over, to push through pain, and to build something extraordinary. Every successful person has faced moments where they had no one to rely on but themselves. There's no perfect time to start. That's one of the biggest lies people tell themselves. That someday the stars will align, the timing will be right, and everything will fall perfectly into place. But that day never comes. There will always be something in the way, some excuse, some fear, some reason to wait just a little longer. Waiting for the perfect moments, how dreams die slowly. The truth is, the best time to start is right now. The best opportunity is the one you create today, not the one you're hoping will appear tomorrow. If you keep waiting for everything to be ideal, you'll look up one day and realize you've wasted years standing still while others pass you by. Starting now doesn't mean you'll have it all figured out. Wow, it doesn't mean you'll be ready. Nobody ever feels ready at the beginning. Every champion, every entrepreneur, every creator started scared, uncertain, and imperfect. The difference between them and everyone else is that they started anyway. They took the first step without seeing the whole staircase. They acted before they felt confident because they understood something powerful. Progress creates clarity. You can't think your way into confidence. You build confidence through action. The more you do, the more you learn, and the more prepared you become. But that growth can only happen once you start. So many people get trapped in planning mode. They plan, they research, they prepare, they make lists, they visualize, and they wait. But too much planning without action becomes procrastination disguised as productivity. You can spend your whole life getting ready, but nothing changes until you move. You gotta take that leap, even if it's messy, even if it's uncertain. Because action is what separates dreamers from doers. You can't steer a parked car. You have to get it moving before you can change direction. People wait because they're afraid of failing. They think if they wait long enough, they can eliminate risk. But there's no way to avoid failure. Failure is part of the process. Every successful person has failed more times than the average person has even tried. Waiting doesn't protect you from failure, just delays your progress. When you act now, you start learning now. You make mistakes faster, which means you learn faster. You grow stronger because you're moving through experience instead of sitting in fear. Action is the cure for doubt. The longer you wait, the louder your doubts become. The moment you move, those doubts start to lose power because you replace fear with focus. Starting now also means you take responsibility for your life. You stop blaming your circumstances, your past, or your resources. You stop saying, "Oh, when I have more money, or when I have more time, or when I feel ready." You realize that those are all excuses. Time will never slow down for you. Life will never become easier just because you're waiting. You have to take what you have and make it enough to start. Greatness isn't about having everything. It's about making something out of what you got. The people who make it happen don't wait for ideal condition. They create results out of chaos. You might think the people who succeed have some kind of advantage, that they knew what they were doing from the beginning. But most of them started clueless. They made mistakes, they failed, they stumbled, but they learned with every move. That's what action gives you, experience. And experience is worth more than all the theory in the world. You can read every book, watch every video, and study every expert, but nothing replaces the lessons you learn when you start doing. The process itself teaches you what you need to know. You have to understand that the clock is ticking. Every day you wait is a day you could have been building something. Time doesn't pause while you plan. Don't wait for your fear to fade. The world keeps moving, and if you don't start, you'll be watching others live the life you dreamed about. Not because they were more talented, not because they had more resources, but because they took action while you were still thinking about it. That's the truth that separates winners from watchers. When you start now, you build momentum. You might not see results right away, but every step forward counts. Small actions repeated daily lead to big results. It's not about giant leaps. It's about consistent movement. The act of starting sends a message to your mind that you're serious, that you're no longer waiting, that you're in control. That energy attracts progress. It makes you sharper, hungrier, and more determined. The longer you wait, the more your energy fades. But once you start, that energy multiplies. Come on. The idea of a perfect time is comforting because it gives you an excuse not to act. You tell yourself you'll start when things calm down, when you're less busy, when you have more clarity. But those are just lies you tell yourself to stay comfortable. Pushing through pain is what separates the average from the exceptional. Everyone wants success until they realize how much it hurts to chase it. Everyone wants to reach the top until they feel the burn of sacrifice. The truth is, pain is the price of progress. There's no growth without struggle, no strength without resistance. Every time you face pain, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental, you're being tested to see how much you really want what you say you want. Most people quit when it gets uncomfortable, but the ones who push through, who stay in the fight, even when it hurts, those are the ones who rise. Pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It's the signal that you're breaking old limits and building new ones. When you push past what you thought was your limit, that's when you discover what you're truly made of. Too many people run from pain, trying to avoid anything that feels hard. They want the reward without the struggle, the success without the sacrifice. But life doesn't work like that. The more you run from pain, the weaker you become. The more you face it, the stronger you grow. Growth is uncomfortable by nature. You can't evolve while staying in your comfort zone. When you hit that wall, the moment when everything in you screams to stop, that's the moment that defines you. That's the crossroads where champions are made. Most people give up right there. They stop because it's painful, because they think pain means they're failing. But pain doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're growing. It means you're growing. It means you're doing something that challenges your body, your mind, and your spirits. It's the resistance that builds the muscle. Just like lifting weights, the pain isn't punishment, it's progress. Without that burn, there's no gain. You got to change the way you see pain. Instead of avoiding it, learn to embrace it. When it hurts, that's when you know you're on the edge of transformation. Every struggle, every setback, every tear is shaping you into the person you're meant to become. Pain is part of the process, not a sign to stop. You can't pray for strength and expect life to be easy. Strength only comes from surviving hard times. Every time you push through pain, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. That's how confidence is built. Not from comfort, but from conquering challenges. Think about any great success story. Behind every victory, there's a story of struggle. Athletes push through injuries. Entrepreneurs push through failures. Students push through sleepless nights. Nobody achieves greatness without pain. The difference is, successful people don't run from it. They use it. They channel that pain into energy, into focus, into fuel. They understand that pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. When you push through the pain, you give yourself a chance to see what's on the other side, and more often than not, that's where greatness lives. Pain is also the ultimate equalizer. No matter who you are, pain doesn't discriminate. Everyone faces it, but it's how you respond that sets you apart. Some people let pain break them. Others let it build them. When life hits you hard, you've got two choices. You can let it crush your spirit, or you can let it shape your strength. You decide whether pain becomes your prison or your motivation. Every time you choose to endure, you're rewriting your story. You're proving that you won't be defeated. You're teaching your mind to fight back, to adapt, to grow. The truth is, pain has purpose. It exposes your weaknesses so you can strengthen them. It tests your patience, your faith, and your resilience. It shows you who you are when things don't go your way. Pain strips away your excuses and forces you to face yourself. And that's powerful, because when you face pain head on, you find out that doesn't control you, you control it. The moment you stop fearing pain is the moment you take your power back. Sometimes pushing through pain means continuing when no one believes in you. It means working when you're tired, showing up when you're discouraged, fighting when you feel empty. Those are the moments that count the most. When it's easy, everyone can do it. But when it's hard, when it hurts, that's when your true character is revealed. Champions are not made in comfort. They're made in chaos, in struggle, in pain. They're made in those moments when no one's watching, when no one's clapping, when it's just you and your willpower. You've got to learn to find pride in the struggle. Every time you endure pain without quitting, you're building mental armor. You're training your mind to stay steady, no matter what life throws your way. Pain teaches resilience, and resilience is what keeps you moving when others stop. It's what helps you bounce back after failure. It's what gives you the strength to keep climbing when the mountain feels too high. At some point, you have to stop running from discomfort and start running toward it. Consistency creates success. It's not the big, dramatic moments that change your life. It's the small, quiet decisions you make every single day. Success isn't built overnight. It's built piece by piece, habit by habit, day after day. The people who rise to the top don't do it because of one lucky break or one perfect opportunity. They do it because they kept showing up. They kept putting in the work long after others got tired. Consistency is the secret ingredient that turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Ooh. The truth is, anyone can work hard for a day. Anyone can stay focused for a week. But only a few can do it every day, month after month, year after year. That's what makes consistency so powerful. It's not about intensity, it's about longevity. It's about waking up and doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. The world doesn't reward the person who starts fast. It rewards the one who never stops. Every day you show up, you're adding another brick to the foundation of your dream. It might not look like much in the beginning, but over time, those small actions stack up into something massive. Consistency builds trust within yourself. Every time you follow through on a promise you make to yourself, you strengthen your confidence. You teach your mind that you can rely on you. But when you keep breaking promises to yourself, when you keep quitting halfway, you erode that trust. You start doubting your own potential. That's why consistency isn't just about discipline. It's about identity. It's about proving to yourself that you are the kind of person who doesn't give up. Once you build that identity, success becomes inevitable because you're no longer depending on motivation. You're depending on character. When you're consistent, even small efforts start to compound. Just like compound interest in a bank account, consistent effort grows exponentially over time. A little progress each day adds up to massive transformation. The problem is, most people quit before they see the results. They get impatient. They want instant gratification. But real success takes time. It takes faith in the process. You got to trust that the work you're doing now will pay off later, even when you can't see it yet. Every seed you plant takes time to grow. The key is to keep watering it, even when nothing seems to be happening. Consistency also builds momentum. When you start doing something regularly, it becomes a part of your rhythm. The more you do it, the easier it gets. That's the power of habit. What was once difficult becomes automatic. What once required effort becomes second nature. But you have to get through that initial phase where it feels hard. That's where most people quit, right before momentum kicks in. If you can push through that stage, you'll reach a point where staying consistent feels easier than stopping. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up. Days when you're tired, frustrated, or discouraged. But those are the days that matter most. Anyone can work when it's easy, but true strength is built when you push yourself to stay consistent when it's hard. That's how you separate yourself from the crowd. That's how you build resilience. Because consistency is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up even when it's messy, even when it's inconvenient, even when you're not seeing results yet. You can't build anything meaningful with inconsistency. If you keep stopping and starting, you're never going to gain traction. Imagine trying to light a fire, but blowing it out every few seconds. You'll never feel the warmth. Success works the same way. You have to keep feeding the fire. You have to keep the flame alive through consistent action. Even when it's slow, even when progress feels invisible, every effort counts. Each repetition makes you better. Each small win pushes you closer. Think about athletes, artists or entrepreneurs who've made it to the top. None of them became great because they worked hard for a few days. They became great because they committed to the grind for years. They practiced when no one was watching. They worked when no one cared. They kept doing the same thing over and over and over until mastery became inevitable. It's not luck, it's consistency. They built routines that supported their dreams, and they stuck to them even when it was boring. That's the part most people miss. Success often looks boring. It's not glamorous, it's repetition, discipline, and patience. Consistency also creates credibility. When people see that you show up regularly, they start trusting you, whether it's in business, fitness, or relationships. Consistency builds respect. People know they can count on you because you've proven that you don't quit. You become reliable, not just to others, but to yourself. And that reliability gives you power because consistency over time builds an unshakable reputation.